I just finished Survivor's Song by Paul Tremblay. It was a very good book. It took me a while to finish it. Sorry, my cat just knocked something off the table. It took me a while to finish it because it was so emotional and heartbreaking, but I definitely do not regret finishing it, and I actually really liked the whole book. I'd say one of the reasons why it was so difficult is because it was set in a pandemic. It is technically the zombie apocalypse, but they phrase it as a pandemic and they interact with it as not like a zombie thing, but as like a virus, because one of the main characters is a doctor. It surrounds a pregnant woman and her friend, like best friend, they were roommates in college, who is a doctor, and their struggle to survive during the zombie apocalypse. I'm gonna call it the zombie apocalypse for like ease of communication, because otherwise it's like this pandemic that's actually a very powerful rabies virus that jumped from animals to humans, and like that's very cool, but it's very easy to just call them zombies. The rabies virus manifests in zombie-like symptoms. They're out of their minds, they're violent, they're trying to eat people. Animals can also be affected by it, obviously, because it's rabies. And it's just kind of like, right off the bat, it's just really gut-wrenching, because it starts off with the pregnant woman having to fight her husband, who has come back from the store and has been infected by the virus. And I'm not going to give too many specifics, but essentially she does get bitten. And so a lot of the book is trying to figure out, is she infected? How are they going to deal with it? Will it affect the baby? How does she get vaccinated? Can she get vaccinated? And yeah, I know it's sounding a lot like COVID, and that's kind of how it felt to me, and that's how it read to me. It was like a artistic response to the COVID pandemic, and kind of those feelings of helplessness and horror that come with, hearing about everything going on in Europe or in China, and then having it come here, and having the US also shut down. I mean, it felt very kind of hopeless. Like, that's kind of the vibe, which is why it took me so long to finish. But it's also kind of like a hero's journey. Like, you see character progression, you see them trying to figure out the best route to take. People come in throughout the book and, either help them or hinder them. How are we getting across the city? Can we drive? Ambulance? Are the hospitals overcrowded? It's a lot to think about. I don't know, it was just difficult. Like, it was a very complicated book, with a lot of complicated feelings about pregnancy, about disease, about the medicine, healthcare field, complicated internal family dynamics. It's very sad to hear the main character give these like voice notes to her unborn daughter, where she's talking about maybe not surviving, kind of how she would want her to be raised. The person she's traveling with, the doctor, who's her best friend, she basically says, if anything happens to me, you need to take care of my daughter. And the doctor is very much not a very domestic person. She's not really a mother figure. And so a lot of it is the doctor being like, I don't know if I can do that. Like, I don't know if I can take care of them. I'm not sure I'm qualified to do that. And so it's like the unlikely heroes called to serve a cause that they're not familiar with or they don't want to engage with, but then they still have to anyway for the greater good. I feel like this has been very rambly. It's just Paul Tremblay. I mean, I've read others of his stuff. I'm just trying to remember. The Pallbearers Club, that was the other one that I read by him recently. And I made a video on it. But he's very good at creating a very sinister atmosphere and the kind of reflection on human emotions and how human emotions and humans are sometimes the scariest thing in the world. Even when like zombies are happening, the people who take advantage of the situation or who are unhelpful, the fear causes them to be kind of evil. It's hard to describe, but I feel like he sets a very dark tone and it works really well. Like it just feels very ominous and uncomfortable. The looming dread is what makes it horrific. I'm trying to think of what else to say about it. It was just, I think I paused 2 or 3 times for an extended period of time. It was like after the beginning, in the middle, and then twice at the end, because it just got heavier and heavier. But it is one of those books where you can just like listen to it, and it's just like adventure. So if you can handle that kind of depressing, gloomy atmosphere in lieu of the COVID virus, and also in advance of this really scary virus coming out of India, I don't know, it feels like it's very topical, it's very current, and I just hope that it is not a reflection of how the future is going to be. I hope it was just an example of what could be. The ending is beautiful. I don't really want to say too much about it because it is like complete spoilers, but you learn that the virus was only in the United States, and that's interesting. The rest of the world was able to shut it down fairly quickly, but it hit the US before anyone could deal with it. And kind of seeing what life is like in the world outside of the terror of what's going on in the US, it's very striking because it kind of gives you a sense of watching from afar and seeing what's happening to other people and not really being able to deal with it, not being able to fix anything, and yet trying to carry on with your life the best that you can while you're still here and appreciate the time that you have, that other people don't. I think that was the big takeaway, was just like gratitude for being alive. Anyway, I wouldn't say it was as supernatural as the Pallbearers Club, but it definitely had a little bit of a fairy tale element with the hero's journey stuff, but also with kind of the very scientific creation of a zombie virus, which I always appreciate, like a good scientific explanation for the zombie virus. In this case, rabies. It has like a name, but it's like the extreme version of rabies. But anyway, I had a good time. Yeah, I don't know what my next book is gonna be. I'm still feeling a little bit off my book game. It's probably going to be the Library at Hellebore because I'm like halfway through that book, a little bit more than halfway through. But please continue to give me book recommendations. I really am trying to take them because I have a lot of books, but I'm like not inspired to read them. I do really want to read God is a Bullet after this, because my boyfriend's sister keeps telling me that's a really messed up book that's all about like the helter-skelter cult stuff, so that would be exciting to read. But if there's anything else that you think that I've missed or that I am missing, please let me know, because I am very much trying to get back into reading seriously. But thank you for watching.